Hello everyone, welcome to Vision Tech Solutions channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about the floating static routes. First of all, I'm going to show you the topology that I'm going to use for this lab. Actually, this topology is the one that I'm going to use for all the CCIE EI training lab series. But for this particular lab, I'm going to just use these two routers, R4 and R5, to demonstrate how we can configure the floating static routes between two routers. First of all, we use floating static routes in situations where we have redundant paths between two routers, and we want to use one of the path as the primary and the other path as the backup. So in case the primary route fails, we can use the backup route. So here in this this network, you can see that between R4 and R5, there are two paths, one from the Ethernet segment on the gig 145 and one through the DMVPN tunnel, which is between these two routers. So the goal is to have reachability between the loopback IP addresses of R4 and R5. The primary path is here. This path is the primary. And in case this link goes down, we can use the secondary path as the backup path. And of course, we have to configure the static routes. Right now, there is no dynamic routing between R4 and R5. So in order to establish reachability between the loopback IP addresses, we have to define the static route, but we have to configure it somehow that we have two static routes, one as a primary and one as a backup. So the IPv4 prefix addresses are in the range 155.1.00/16. The loopback IP addresses are in the range 150.1.00/16. So you can see the loopback IP of R4 is 150.1.4.4 and R5 is 150.1.5.5. I'm gonna show you shortly the IP addresses which have been configured, the DMVPN tunnel, and then we will do the configuration. Okay, let's jump to the console of R4. I'm using the CSR 1000V routers on a virtual server. So I'm connected to R4 console. So first of all, I will check the IP addresses on show IP in brief. So as you can see, the gigabit I'm using the sub interface. Gigabit 145 is 155.1.45.4. The tunnel is using 155.1.0.4, the loopback 150.1.4.4, and the NBMA address or non-broadcast multi-access address of this interface, which is going to the DMVPN tunnel, is 169.254.100.4. Let's check on router R5. So show IP in brief. Again, here on gig 145 of router R5 is 155.1.45.5, and the tunnel is 155.1.05, and the loopback IP 150.5.5. And if I showed you that we have the DMVPN tunnel here, so show DMVPN, as you can see, the tunnel is up between all the 1, 2, 3, 4. So actually the DMVPN tunnel between these 5 routers, R5 is the hub and they are the spoke. This is a hub and a spoke topology, but here in this lab we only work on R4. We don't care about the other DMVPN spokes. We just want to work on R4. Okay, so the tasks for this lab are like this. So we want to configure R4 and R5 with identical IPv4 static routes for each other's loopback 0 prefixes through both the directly connected Ethernet segment and the DMVPN cloud. So first we have to configure two routes, two static routes, one via the Ethernet segment, one through the DMVPN tunnel on both on R4 and R5. The second requirement is use administrative distance to ensure that the traffic is primarily routed over the Ethernet segment but is routed through the DMVPN cloud if the Ethernet link is down. So by changing the administrative distance of static routes, we actually create the floating static route. So in case this link is down, it can use the backup link. Okay, let's go to the configuration and see how we can do this configuration. So at the moment, let's see if we can ping the routers 5 loopback 1.5.5. 150.5.5 is the loopback IP address of R5. Show IP in brief. This is the loopback IP. So I ping the loopback IP address and I cannot reach it because there is no route. Conf T. So IP route 150.1.5.5 with the subnet mask of 32. So the primary route is through the Ethernet segment. So we have to send this to gigabit 145. So gigabit 1.45 through the Ethernet segment. But here also I have to change something because the administrative distance, if I don't put anything, it is considered to be 1. So let me remove it, and again I configure it, and if I hit the question mark, you can see that I can use the administrative distance. I put like 10 here, then I create IP route 150.1.5.5 with the subnet mask of 32. Now this time as a backup route, it should go through the DMVPN tunnel or the tunnel address. The tunnel address for R5 is 155.1.0.5. 155.1.0.5, but here I should change the administrative distance, okay, to make it less preferred. So I want to prefer this link or the primary link, and I want to use another static route with higher administrative distance, so it will be less preferred. I have to do the same on router R5. So the primary is here and the secondary goes through the DMVPN tunnel here. So IP route 150.1.4.4 with the subnet mask of 55. So 1.45 is the primary, and I have to put the administrative distance of 10, and IP route 150.1.4.4 155.1.0.4. Why I chose this one? Because show IP int brief, the tunnel interface of R4 is 155.1.0.4 with the administrative distance of 20. Okay, now let's check from R4 if I can ping 150.1.5.5. Yes, I can ping it now. And if I trace 150.1.5.5, you can see that it is using the Ethernet link address 155.45.5, which is the IP address of gigabit 1.45. So it is going through the Ethernet link. Now to test if we can use the backup link, So if I go to int gig 1.45 and shut it down. Now let's see if I can ping. Yeah, still I can ping, and let's trace route. And you can see that now I'm using the other path. I'm not using gig 145. I'm using the tunnel interface. So I now shut the port. Now shut the port, and now if I again trace, and you can see now it is using the Ethernet segment. The same should be true for R5. Ping 150.1.4.4. Yeah, I can ping it. Trace 150.1.4.4. I'm going through the Ethernet segment, and int gig 1.45, shut it down. And now if I trace, I'm using the tunnel interface now. If I go and no shut and trace again, and now I'm going through the Ethernet. So in this lab, I demonstrated how we can use floating static routes by changing the administrative distance of static routes. So we can use one route as a primary with the lower administrative distance, and one as a backup with the higher administrative distance. In case the primary route fails, we can use the backup. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found this video useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you. See you in the next lab.